What is up, guys? It's Papa, and today we're doing a series of unfortunate events in a kind of review. So today I'm looking at the top 5 Guardians from the Netflix remake. So who would be best to look after these 3 little kids? Violet, Klaus, and Sunny. So if you haven't seen the show, may I suggest go and watch it. But if you haven't, look away, look away. But if you have seen the show, welcome to a series of unfortunate events. So, the rules. So, it can't be one of Count Olaf's characters. So, it can't be Stefano, Captain Sham, or Shirley. These 3 are just Count Olaf over and over. So, it doesn't, they're all out off the bat. And they also must be a potential Guardian. So, the drama troupe are kind of like giving them Stefano's not Stefano's characters, Count Olaf's characters, because it's pretty much just giving them to Count Olaf, because they're just going to give them to Count Olaf immediately. And then Mr. Poe, serving as kind of a hero in the series, but kind of the antagonist at the same time, being very unhelpful. He did provide a roof for them for a night, and then kick them out and send them off, and they've never stayed in his house again. So, as he's sorting out everything behind the scenes, not very well, but as he is, he's out. So all these characters are out. So that just leaves these characters. So I'm assuming you've seen the show, otherwise you should have looked away, like Patrick Warburton or Lemony Snicket tells you to throughout the show. But if you need a rundown, throughout episodes 1 through 8, the eligible Guardians are Count Olaf and Patrick Warburton. In episodes 1 and 2, it's Justice Strauss. In episodes 3 and 4, it's Dr. Montgomery. Episode 5 and 6, it's Aunt Josephine. And episodes 7 and 8, it's Charles and Sir. Yeah, his name is Sir. They're not just calling him Sir in the show. Dr. Orwell and the Lucky Smells Lumber Mill Workers. There you go. So that was... So any of these people could win. So in 5th place, I've put, and all these numbers will hopefully be references that you'll get. This is a reference to the Channel 5 channel, a British network. It is a channel, it's not. It's a British network of channels. At number 5, it's Count Olaf. Even though he's the worst of the worst, and I probably shouldn't have even included him on this list, he did provide them with the basics. So a roof over their head and some basic food. He wasn't the best, but he was okay. Number 4, being Channel 4, was Aunt Josephine. As we see in the show, she's quite the timid old lady, but when she finally snaps, she rips in to Count Olaf, having a massive go at him, providing one of the biggest fight backs I think we've seen in a long time. Especially from Aunt Josephine, as the timid girl that she was ever since her husband Ike died. So, and she did do quite well. There's a massive gap between her and Count Olaf. Count Olaf provided them very little essentials. She, on their first night, gave them gifts. Now, they were quite strict gifts, but she did provide them with stuff. And she did give them pretty much a fully working house that she let them use to whatever they wanted. And what made Klaus happy was she had a library. He didn't like the contents of the library, but he liked the library nonetheless. So, number 3, so Cars 3, a very pop culture reference, as the build-up for it's being so immense, it's Lemony Snicket. You may argue that Lemony Snicket is not eligible, but as we've seen throughout the show, characters in the show did state they was quite scared of him and that he was around during the time of the whole story. In episode 5, we see the anxious clown guy and Count Olaf in their little exchange, saying that the children are with the most vicious person in their society, to which Count Olaf responds, Lemony Snicket. And the anxious clown guy responds, isn't he dead? So they are quite fearful of him, but they do also think he's dead. which isn't very good. But oh well. So at number 2, or BBC Radio 2, picking number 1 and number 2 was really difficult for me. But I think I provided with I think I found my ways of showing you. And also another point for Lemony Snicket, he does mention multiple times in the show that he would like the story to have gone differently than it did. So number 2 is Uncle Monty, or Dr. Montgomery Montgomery. He was probably one of the best Guardians that we actually saw in the show be a Guardian. He was fully aware of who Count Olaf was and proposed quite the fight against him. Unfortunately, he met his untimely demise because Count Olaf killed him with a snake bite. Quotations. But he did provide quite the bit, took them to the movies, I think on their first night, and was very good about it. He was quite clearly a good person. But there aren't many left, so who takes number 1? And I just got the number 1 because I'm lazy and I couldn't be bothered to find a unique number for number 1. It's Justice Strauss. That is the spelling. Apparently it's supposed to be Justice Status, but it's pronounced Justice Strauss. As we see in the first few seconds with her, all the kids feel really lightened up. They think that she could be the perfect fit for them in their new life. But as we see in the show, she's not the correct person. She's not married to Count Olaf, as she says he lives across the street. But if she was given the chance, she would probably do better. She states in the show multiple times that besides being an actress, she's always wanted to have kids and marry, but she's married to the law, so she's never had time to find the right man and have children. But we see in the show, despite what Count Olaf tells her, and quite horrible things about the children, that she kind of looks down upon them and presents herself with quite a snidey comment to them. When they go into her private library and they say it's absolutely fascinating, she lights up. She's overly excited. She's so happy that they like it. She's just so pleased. So that's it. So you might think to yourself, oh, I put these 3 at the bottom. These 3 didn't really do much. Charles and Sir, well, Charles was quite nice, but he didn't do anything, really. And Sir just put them to work because of the sign that says trespassers will be put to work. Dr. Orwell was probably going to hypnotise them and had literal skeletons in her closet. We're not sure whose skeletons they were or if they were even real, but they are presented to be quite real. And the Lucky's Mills Lumber Mill, after the end of episode 8, it seems they all would have probably gone home. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been Purple Heart, and if you want to show me your hearts, leave me a like, comment, or even a subscription if you're feeling so kind. But seriously, I do want to hear your comments. Who would you put as your top 5 Guardians? Who did you think did well? Or do you agree with me, or do you disagree? Tell me in the comments. I would like to hear. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye. Oh, shit.